Replicant version 1.22, which is, if you don't know, it's a remaster of a 10-year-old game, which was called NieR Replicant, which only got released in Japan. They did actually release a version in the West, but it was just called NieR. And it's basically the same game, but all they changed was the protagonist wasn't the Yana, who's is your sister in this, where in the Western version, just called NieR, you was her father. So I don't know why they made that change, but that was the difference. Everything else was the exact same. It was just a relationship between you and Yana. It's actually a prequel to NieR Automata, which was obviously a really popular game for a lot of reasons back in 2017. It's kind of, once again, it's kind of post-apocalyptic fantasy kind of world. It's not so sci-fi as Automata, where you're playing as an android against robots. This time you are humans, and it's a bit more magic. You have like a grimoire called Grimoire Weiss, which I believe is white in German. And then there is a black version, and it will go on as the story progresses. The combat's really good, though. That's what these games are well known for. And I was a little bit concerned just because I didn't think it was going to be as good, just because Platinum are not making it. And obviously Platinum are known for their really fast combat with obviously NieR Automata and Bayonetta and these type of games. If you like those types of games, it's made by Toy Logic. But it's brilliant. The combat is fantastic. It's really fast. It's interesting. The enemies that you fight are called shaders, and they come in different forms. And it's it's really satisfying to play. And with the music, it's probably the best soundtrack I've ever heard in any game. Like NieR Automata was quite well known for its soundtrack as well. And it's just, I don't know, each area has its own, like, it's like a live orchestra music, and then you're firing, and you've got this airy music, and I don't know, you have to play it to like experience it. It's really, really good. There's a few things that haven't really aged well because it's not a remake, it is a remaster, and some of the quests and side quests are just not aged well at all. It's kind of like the beginning bit is really slow. Like, you're in your house, then you got to go to the library. There's a load screen. You then talk to the girl in the library. She gives you a quest. You then go back out the library. There's a load screen to the world. You then go to a merchant. You collect whatever she told you to collect. You then go back to the library. Another load screen. You talk to her. Do you know what I mean? It's like back, forth. And it's just kind of like, this doesn't age well in 2021. Like, you needed to change
quick
that.
Load screens though.
It's 10, 15 seconds, but when it's frequent, it becomes annoying.
Yeah.
Although it's just like on PS5, it's irritating, and there's no upgrade for PS5. It's just a PS4 game.
Is this what you were playing last night when I was doing a raid in Destiny, and you dipped on Destiny for a little bit and then you jumped back on it, and I just heard fucking bollocks. I don't think he saved his progress.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
You had to go through all those loading screens again.
I lost about an hour's worth of progress last night. Yeah, unbelievable. The only way you save is through those little saving stations, which once again is not very modernized system. It's very like JRPG. You have to save, and it's all saving is like linked to the world, because it's not the same here. It is a bit more of a save system, but in Automata, because you was an android, it was kind of like a permadeath system. If you died, you were dead. But what you were saving you was cloning your body into machines, and then you would come out of that machine as a cloned body, and whatever you had on you at that time, you would come out, and you could then find your body and reclaim stuff that you've collected. So it's like integrated within the game, like all the mechanics, all the upgrade systems, where this is a little bit more fantasy. There's magic, like you said, you have your grimoire and the powers and stuff, and the book talks and stuff, and he's quite funny. He's a little bit grumpy, and he's a bit arrogant, and he's very like, he bitches whenever you do like a side quest. He's like, why are you doing this shit and stuff like that. There's another companion that you have a couple of companions, and they're kind of what makes the game, because your character that you play is a little bit, I don't know, a bit boring. It's a bit vanilla. He's a bit like, I just want to save my sister, because basically the point of the story is your sister's got this kind of, I don't know, cancer, this like black scroll thing. You're trying to find the cure kind of thing for it. And as you go along on your journey, you meet these companions, and then they follow you on their journey. And it's kind of they're talking to each other as you're going along your journey, what kind of makes it. That is really good with the music and the combat. And it's really, really fun to play. Highly recommend it, especially if you liked Automata. So I'm sure there's going to be multiple endings and stuff. But
Automata is on Game Pass as well, I think.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games that you need to have like hundreds of hours to to put in.
Apparently not. Apparently
you have to
not.
play through like so many times to get the real ending or something. You know?
Yeah, you had to play through 3 times, but
Jesus.
and that's always put me off. But when what was I listening to? Something recently, and I was talking about Replicant, and then people were talking about who's obviously beat Automata, and they said it's not as bad as you think. So when you do the second playthrough, it's not like 40 hours long. Like the first playthrough is like 15.
Right.
And then when you do the third, it's like 5 or 8 hours. You just get these alternative endings, and there's like, I think there's like 8 or other, there's like 8 different versions of how it ends. And I'm sure this is going to be the same. And because this is a prequel, I think it's the 5th ending of this one is where Automata starts. And there's like characters that interlink it and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, does it lead?
Yeah, it was all linked. Yeah, it's all association.
Okay.
Like there's a companion that you have who's actually in Automata, and he's just a merchant. He sells you stuff, and it's kind of quite a little Easter egg that he's there. And obviously, I've never played this version of NieR, so I didn't know who he was at the time. So it's quite cool to see him as a character. He's kind of that weird looking. I don't know if you've ever seen any art for NieR, but it's either really like girls in really skimpy outfits. Like
Reece sent me some art last night.
yeah, it's just unbelievable. It's just, this game is unbelievable. I think her name is Kane, who is a companion that you have, and she's a bit of a, I don't know, she's got a bit of a sassy character about her as well. At one point, you're like fighting this enemy, and she's like, "Pull your head out of your ass and fucking help me." I don't know. She's just like, there's like little one-liners like that, and she's wearing some like nightie, little silk nightie, and the back is completely cut off, and the bum is completely out, and it's just like some like
It's a weird game you're playing here, mate. You sure this is
it's good.
a
It's
more
good.
widescreen game?
Yeah, it's popular. It's scored 84. Yeah, it's very popular. Yeah, for a lot of reasons. But Automata is even more. You're actually playing like sexy Android girls, but the only disappointing thing with this is that they wanted to keep it at 60 frames, which I get. It's really fast combat. You kind of need it at 60 frames, but because it's obviously a PS4, Xbox One game, they then decided to down-res it to 1080p. So it's at 1080p all the way through, which makes some textures look a little bit poor, especially on my great TV, and I'm used to 4K pretty much all the time. So then see something at 1080p is just looks a bit like
Makes you sick. You're like,
yeah, especially when Automata is 4K 60 now. So a game that came out in 2017 looks better than this game, which is a bit like, but yeah.
Who's the companion who has a face like a moon?
That's the guy. That's the I was telling about. That's the merchant. Yeah, but where I am at the moment, he just looks like a normal kid,
right.
And he's actually. I guess it's spoiled.
Turn his face into a moon.
No, he's not actually a kid. I guess it's a bit spoilery territory, but he's actually like a ultimate ancient weapon. He's called number 7, and his sister's number 6, and you'll find out. And then he transforms into that weird moon creature.
Moon boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I would say it does sound good, and I would say I'd play it, but I know I never will. So
I'll probably just watch a video on it.
I know it's like one of those things. It's Japanese. It's really Japanesey. If you're not into Japanese stuff, it is weird.
Yeah.
But when you're either going to love it or hate it. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're in it, because the combat is so good, the music's good, the story's quite interesting and stuff, and the characters, the way they're interlocking. Once you get into it, you'll be like, wow. That's why they're kind of cult classics almost, because they're honestly, once you play them, it's like really fun to play.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me, Brad. You got a moon boy. What else is a moon boy? A moon moon. It's moonmons.
Moonmons. Confirmed.
Moonmons activity.
Yeah. I think our thumbnail for this week's episode should just be a moomin.
Yeah. We love them.
No. Refuse to do that.